So the goal of this presentation is to show an alternative way of running jobs on a cluster, trying to avoid much of the hassle which the previous issues can bring about, and namely to use a web browser to run the jobs on a cluster on an HPC. The web browser we are going to show is called Live Portal, and it is connected to Saga. So everybody who wants to use it must have a Sigma 2 username and a password, and they can immediately log into the portal. Here I present the first page. You can click on login or register. If this does not appear, type in your public name in Sigma or email address. Public name will be okay, and the password. The next screen, which opens after the login, will have something like this to show to the users. And here, the goal of this slide is to show how you select a tool or an application to run. There will be no module loads and other issues. Everything will be done for the users by the system behind. This is probably the right place to mention that this web interface is based on a portal developed by the Galaxy project in the US. They've been doing it now for probably 20 years, a little bit less, and many communities from biology to chemistry, physics, and astrophysics, linguistics have been using it for the same purpose. So here we are showing how you start an application or a tool. On the left-hand side, there is the menu with the tool list. The only thing what the user shall do is just click on the name of the tool, and in the bigger frame, you'll see the menu of the tool with all the information, piece of information which the cluster will need in order to run a job of the SQ. I will dwell on it on the next slides. Here is just to show how the tools appear on the screen and how they shall be started. Of course, you fill in the drop-downs and the fields here, and you click on the execute. One very important point, which brings about a lot of frustration for the users of the Live portal, is that they forget to select the projects or the accounts. You remember in the scripts you have such an sbatch variable which says account. Here, the system knows which projects every user is a member of, provided that the user is registered in Sigma, of course. And the user can use each of these projects, provided they have enough allocation left, and run their jobs within these projects. Here, as you see, in my particular case, I'm a member of 5 projects. I can select one of them and send the job to this project. The next slide will show the full interface, the overview of the interface of the system once the users have logged in. The screen will be relatively static throughout the entire work. It will be split into 3 big panels, one on the left, one in the middle, and one on the right. The left panel, as you have already seen from the previous slides, contains the tools, the list of the tools. The tools are organized in sections, and you can see at the bottom of this left panel, the section called sequence manipulation. If you click on it, for example, you will see the tools which are organized within this section, like FastQC, bum2bum, and so on. Usually the list of the tools is very long, and you can search for the tools in the search box on the top of the tool list. The middle window is activated once one of the tools in the left panel has been selected, and it will display the menu. The menu will roughly correspond, once the menu is filled in, you see the first 3 lines, the 3 drop-downs require upload of some files. That's why you have the small folder on the right-hand side. The rest is called the job resource parameters, which are roughly correspond, not roughly, but actually correspond to the sbatch parameters with the number of nodes you require, number of cores, memory in megabytes, and estimated times. Do not forget the most important one, the project at the bottom. And once you have filled everything in, you click on the execute, and the job is running for you. And the right-hand panel, which here you see the green and the red ones. The green are the successful jobs. The red ones are the failed jobs. This is your working space. So you can, every user can upload the files there, but as the same way as we upload files to the emails when we attach documents. The files can be uploaded by FTP or also by direct upload. I think on Saga we have also developed a way to upload them from their home directories.
Nikolay,
and the jobs, when they finish, they will place all the results.
Can you hear me, Nikolay?
Sorry?
Oh, can you hear me? Yes. Just sorry for interrupting.
I can hear you, yes.
Good. Sorry for interrupting. One thing that has been raised on the HackMB is that the font size is very, very small. And I can imagine that it may be now difficult to zoom in if these are slides. But if you have any way to make the font size larger, or maybe to log into the real system and maybe
let me see 150 like this.
Yeah, because it's otherwise hard to follow.
Radovan, later on we'll have a demo with the real system. Then we'll show more.
Thanks.
Okay, the idea here is just to see the overview, right? I can make it slightly bigger right now. And go back to it. Anyway, this is a very correct, concrete example of my Windows, so this will not help a lot. The idea is to see the three panels, the menu in the middle, the tools on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, the working area for the working space for every user. The next slides will be bigger than these, I promise. Oops. Yeah, nice. Got stuck. Okay, now let's get back to the very idea of this talk. Why shall we use the web interface instead of a terminal? For the last 3 hours, you've been listening to many techniques to start jobs and to modify the parameters, the environment of the job and everything. So let's compare the advantages and the shortcomings of such a web interface compared to the terminal. We're going back, and this will be just a reminder of what we have done in the morning. So this is a simple script which everybody needs to write, an SBAT script in order to start a job. I've just took it from the Sigma script documentation page. You see here the SBAT scripts showing the job name, the account, the time, the other parameters. You can set up some job environment, like exiting the script on any error, treat any unset variables, and so forth. Manage the modules, like purge them first, as Sabri taught you, then load what you need, and at the end, run the commands. But of course, this is not everything. You usually have to add other things, like for performance issues, it's much better to copy your files on the job working directory and then copy them back. Here we have to create it by special commands, cd to this working directory, and at the end, you shall not forget to copy these files back to your home directory. Otherwise, they will be deleted from the scratch or working directory after the job ends. So at the end, what do we have? Here we have actually two. Let's compare the script versus the web interface. On the left-hand side in the oval, you see all these commands. You see it's about 25, 30 lines. On the right-hand side, you see an HTML form. So all these elements you have to write in hand. You can select them by, maybe I'll make it slightly smaller here. Oh, is there a way of making it 90? I guess so. Right. So you can actually emulate this by selecting drop-downs in the menu of the interface. So let's go element by element. If we look at the job parameters, these are the parameters. There was such a question, what are these job parameters? This is the way the users communicate to the cluster, how do we want this job to be executed, which is what resources we are asking for. Among the resources is the account, the time limit, memory, etc. So here we actually do not gain that much, apart from not writing it in hand, but selecting it from the drop-downs or these slided elements. Yes, things get slightly better when we have to do with the file management. The blue rectangle on the left shows you in the script the way you manipulate the files. So you have to copy the files to the work directory, copy them, then switch to this directory, and then use another command to get the files back. Whereas in the web interface of the live portal, all you have to do is just upload the files once and for all into your working space, and the rest of this is done by the web interface, but not by the web interface, but by the machinery which is underlying the portal. And I mean, I think the best gain is the command itself. Instead of typing the command and a number of switches, and we've seen commands which might take 3 or 4 or 5 lines long, you only have a button execute. So what this form does is it collects all the elements you have selected, all the data or all the parameters, both about the input, the job parameters, and other parameters connected to the tool functioning. And it actually creates an SBatch script for you behind the scenes and sends this SBatch file to Slurm. Then it goes all the way to the cluster executes the job and returns it back. You can see the results on the right-hand side menu. So why are we actually using the interface? So far, the slides I've shown are the arguments for, let's say, the HPC beginners. And the main argument is to avoid writing scripts, because writing scripts is very time-consuming. It is very error-prone, especially for the beginners. Of course, it is much more flexible, but sometimes instead of looking for flexibility, you're looking for easy reproducibility. But these are, as I said, arguments for the HPC beginners. When you become efficient in writing scripts, probably this will not make a big difference for you. However, there are strong arguments for HPC advanced users. That is, once your data is ready, once your job has finished, you have the results on your working space, and these data are very easily shareable with all the members, all the users of this portal. Sabri will show you in the next minutes how data sets or files or input, even output, can be shared, how the elements can be combined in workflows. So you actually can combine a set of applications or tools one after another and make a workflow. And this workflow can be easily then exported, sent to another user who will be using the same routine as your original routine. It can also be sent to publishing houses, which can reproduce your results again. So the shareability of such a system, it is much higher than the shareability in a simple POSIX system which we are using when running it from the terminal. And last but not least, the results are compliant with the FAIR principles. It means that the data can be easily shared, sent to other people, and reproduced. So let's go now to the demo. Sabri will take over and show you how things work. Actually, the demo will be shown by both of us. Sabri will be sharing something with me from his screen. Then I'll switch to my screen and show you what I will see, so that you have a slight idea what happens when two users are sharing data within the portal. Sabri, shall I stop sharing now and give it to you, right?
Okay, Nikolay.
Did I free the screen?
Yes, you see a full screen at the moment because I'm not going to show the terminal. So if I jump into the demo, there were some questions about login and usernames and that sort of things. I asked people to contact us via the email, or maybe if we have time, we can help them.
Yes.
At the end, it seems some users can't log in with their Sigma 2 account. And this is a prototype that it has been running on our earlier cluster.
Yes.
It's been set up on Saga mainly by Nikolay. And at the moment, if you log in, this would be the landing page, which with some tools, mainly genomics tools, because those were the tools that we were actually using early on Arbel. But if there's interest, like because we haven't installed everything here, so if there's an interest, we could include more tools, even if not genomics or biological domain relevant. We could install any module, like the modules we have on Saga, for example, we could have it available here as jobs, and it runs on Saga, not on From or Betsy, because the current tools are catered for the Saga configuration. Once you logged in, you will land in somewhere like this. I will show you one quick example of how can we use it. So I'm going to submit a small job asking for my existing jobs on the cluster. So here I had to specify how many nodes, how many cores, how much memory, estimated time, and I'm going to select a project, which is it's a course project. And when I click the send button, it will read all those nodes, memory and everything, and it will construct, it sort of fabricates a job script and send it to the Slurm, the queue manager. If you remember that blue person on the restaurant, give it to this person. I should call it a person. Slurm, like the queue manager, and it executes the jobs and get the results and send it back to this web portal. So that's what happens. So what I'm asking now is, instead of using the SQ command earlier, if you remember that I was continuously using on my terminal, I'm using this to execute it. So at the end, the results would show that the two big pending jobs, I asked for more memory there. If you remember the serial with the Pi with 8 cores and the serial job, and this one is the Galaxy, the job itself that I submitted now. You could also check the status of the cluster, for example, using this. For the real example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new history. Here you can name history, for example, let's say I'm going to share NRIS. The reason is I'm going to showcase certain FAIR principles using this. So I'm going to upload certain data sets and then share it with Nikolay. Here the upload button is here. So from my computer, I can upload files. I have downloaded this big file, but I'm getting only the top part, just to make the job run faster. And I'll click open, and then the upload script, it will detect what type of file it is. It will detect whether it's a compressed archive file. It is this is more relevant to genomics actually. It will detect whether it's a proteins or it's a FASTA file in that sense. But to make things little faster, I'm going to mention that it is a FASTA file, FASTA format file, which is like a sequence file, and it is from a human. Right? I'm going to mention those two information and upload the file. And then it'll upload the file. Then I could run jobs on this file. So this is my input data. So usually, if you remember in the morning, we use SCP rsync to copy things. Here we are using the web upload. So at the moment, we have a test tool that this will actually land on your home page, but not yet. So it will be not home page, your home directory in Saga. So we will, when this come to like when you figure out certain bugs, it'll you can actually pull things from your Saga account itself. So this is the file. You can have a look. So here it shows a output from a sequencing machine, some genomic sequencing machine. So even for the graphics, it's easier. Let's say plots and that sort of things you can view easily. Then I'm going to do quality control of this file, submit another job. At the moment, when it's pulling things from Saga, for example, what accounts that you have access to, it has about like a 2, 3, 4 second delay. So when you click the tool until you get this form that could fabricate the job script, there's a slight delay that we will work on that very soon. So we have the input file here, short reads. Yeah, where do I? Yes, contaminate. Yeah, that's not the file. short reads. So I did not select my file actually here because it should be a FASTA-Q file. So I'm going to edit that maybe. Yeah. FASTA-Q. Let's see if that works. Okay. Okay, so it's the job is running at the moment, so I can't do that. So I can upload it again from my computer. Sorry. So that thing happened because I didn't let it auto detect the type, but I decided to give it my own type. FASTA-Q, because it was not a FASTA file but a FASTA-Q file. If you are from this domain, you might recognize what I did wrong, but if not, I apologize because I'm just going to show you the job script, not the concept of what I'm doing. Then I can let's see that whether it detects now. Now its input is detected now because it's the correct type. I'm going to select the project and I'm going to submit it. So when that is submitted, it will fabricate a job script to do some quality assurance on this file to make sure it's of good quality. So while that job is going on, I could go to Saga. I said I'm not going to show the terminal, but I'm going to show it anyway. SQ. If you see this Galaxy job, it's submitted as me, so it's running. It's pending at the moment. So behind the scenes, it will actually submit a job and it will do the processing. While that is on a pending state, let's say you want to collaborate with a colleague. So what I'm going to do now is to share this information with Nikolay. So I'll select share or publish. I could create a downloadable link that you could use or publish it for all the users, or I could find a existing user, which is Nikolay, and submit it. Now this shared NRIS, Nikolay would have got the same thing. Nikolay, can you share your screen and show if you have it? I can't hear you, Nikolay.
Turn this off. Okay. So I go here to this menu and I check histories shared with me. And I have this history shared by Sabri. I can unshare it, I can copy it, I can view it. Let's view it. And it shows me what has happened there. So it is as easy as that to share your work with other people, other members. Probably it's the right place to say, Sabri, that this interface allows the administrators to group all the users in groups and assign them roles, and give a lot of flexibility to which group can run what types of software and with what resources. You can limit and set quotas on allocations and on the storage as well.
Yes, Nikolay, that's a good point.
Shall I stop sharing? You do the
no. Just leave it as it is. So here I'm sharing my data set, and I'm sharing my I'm sharing the processing I will do on it. Let's say it's if I publish it, people could find it and do the same processing I have done myself. and then also reproduce the results. So this is sort of in our environment, this provides a good way for us to support this fair data initiative. So not only you just give the file, you provide them more metadata with it. What is this file about? How to find it? This is my file here. These are the jobs that I ran on it. These are the modules I loaded. And these are the results that you should expect to get. Sort of like the entire life cycle could be shared. So Nikolay, if you may stop now, I can share my screen.
Yes.
Yeah, so the job is still running state. So you could close the browser.
No, it's running.
Yeah, so it's you can open it up later on. You could see the status of your job from a mobile even. Like this, this browser supports loading on different devices. So when this job is finished, I was planning, Nikolay, to extract a workflow, but because of the load today, I'm not sure whether this will finish very soon. So I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to show you an earlier run I did. I hope you wouldn't mind about it. Under here, you can see all the things I did before. So it's recorded in a sort of like a workflow way, like workflow pattern. So I'm going to switch to this history. So you see that that what I was going to run. So I uploaded the file. I did some quality assurance, and you can also see all the like the figures, the plots and everything. Then I used a program called BWA to map it to a genome. Then I convert it to another format. So this is SQ that I'm going to remove that now. I check the status of my job. So now what I want to share this workflow with Nikolay. For that, I can extract a workflow from this. I can go here and extract workflow. Right? You can select and unselect the things that you want, and you can create a workflow, and it will be created. And if you go to workflows, workflow constructed from history, it's here, and I could edit that. It will take about few seconds to load. And then it will give you like a graphical representation of what I did. I have uploaded this file. I did these things to this file. And then there's more to it. And I converted it into another like a more human-friendly format to view. So these things, I can run it like again and again and again. Or I could workflow options. I could share it. Okay, this is the run part. So if you run the workflow, why is it asking me to leave? Okay, let's see. It'll load everything and it'll run.
You to leave because it was a editing module.
Yeah. Okay, yes, that's good. So it'll run the entire workflow one after another. It'll remember what job parameters I gave it, how it fabricated the job script, and it'll run everything. Then I want to see, Nikolay, where can I share this with you? I go here and share. And then I can create a link to be shared with, like, let's say if you have a class going on like teaching, you could create a link for the users. And then this link would be it's a REST link, copy link, and then I can send it to Nikolay and he will open the same workflow. Or I could add a user. Share it once with someone specific. Go. Yes. So let's see my earlier job, whether it has finished or it failed. Okay, so it's It's now okay. So you can have multiple histories that you could.
It is finished, successful.
Yes, it was successful. So it was giving some. So there's a small bug, Nikolay. The images created, the path was not properly set, but I think we can fix that later. So you might not see images. So here you should see an image that the relative path was slightly wrong due to a slash, but that will fix. So you could look at it. You can share this, and then you could also share pages. I can show a page of this on the main galaxies. Like I don't have a example here, like a Jupyter notebook page, for example, for a publication. All the analysis you did, the data you used, you could also create something like that. If anybody has a specific question, I can show something from another place. Yes, so that is all I'm going to mention about this.
Sabri, there are some questions on HackMD. Maybe you can take it.
Yes. So which username? So is it it is the Saga username, right, Nikolay? Can you hear me, Nikolay?
I don't know which username it is. Unfortunately, I don't have an overview of the users. I can hear you, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. So this is an email that
Hello?
I used to log in. So no, yeah, I can hear you. Dania, is my voice okay?
You can use either email, as it says here, public name or email address. Yes.
But I don't think, yeah. So how through this pilot project, how can someone get access? Do they have to register or? But it worked with my Saga username.
No, as long as it uses the Sigma's LDAP. Yes, it uses the Sigma's LDAP and only
that is Saga.
Sigma's LDAP.
Yes, and Saga from Betsy. Any
and
of the
it will use either the email or yeah.
So I used now my Saga credentials. So if you face any issues, please send an email and we will try to help, because during the prototype there might be some issues going on. The other one is, can you run Busco? Yeah, Busco we can install if there's a request. If you are willing to give us some feedback on how it works, we can install it, and you have to check and give us some feedback. It's on Saga, yes. Is there a plan to have it on other clusters? Not at the moment, because all the tools we have are like Saga heavy. So heavily parallel jobs are the programs that need heavy parallel processing are not there. So at some point, if there's a need, we could have it. Font size, yeah. At the moment, the examples are from genomics, because that's what we used before in our. Can you save this SPatch script created by the? Wow, good point here. Let me check. If I go to this job, I will have the information.
You can, yes, but they live. Let me see. You can, but you have to go. Yes, it tells you where they are, and you can reuse them after that. Yes.
Not from the interface.
It is in
right?
the working directory, though.
Yeah, so it's on Saga. So not on. So, but you can specify the
no, not from the interface. No, it's on Saga. Yes.
So the fabricated job script itself is not there, but I think it's a good features to have if we can get as a result, as a output. You could also have here the job script actually used. Maybe we will yeah, on directory. Yes, cluster work. It's there, but not, you can't get it from the interface itself. Sorry, at the moment.
There are a couple of questions at the last.
Where's the link? Does have any?
Do the files have to be decompressed to work on Live Portal?
I will answer the last one.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nikolay.
Yeah.
We can't hear you, Nikolay.
Sorry?
We didn't hear you.
Are you muted?
I'm not talking.
Okay.
Okay, you said you were going to answer the last one.
Answer the last question here.
Okay.
Yes, I just put the link.
Yes, so the recordings will be there.
How can we recreate the steps we did? Sabri. Yes.
Yes. Which question is lesson? How can steps? So that's a demonstration,
the last
right?
one is about running scripts on Galaxy.
So we can create the steps you did today to run. I totally don't understand the question. Is it asking that can we run scripts, or it's like the person who asked the question? If you can ask via the mic, open the mic and ask.
No, the idea is rerun what you have done.
No, these are some random examples, but if you want, I can give you the link. So what I can do is I can create a link, share or publish, make a history accessible by link. I can copy the link and I can give it to you. And if you click that link, it will load what I did. Okay, so scripts by default, it's if you mean like R scripts, like these are not meant for like batch script running. These are sort of software that you run with the configurations that we have here. For example, if you want to run blast, for example, that we have created a form that not we, the people who created the wrapper have created a form. So we fill in the input details in the form and also the job parameters and submit it. So we can't submit a script in that sense. Sorry if I misunderstood your question.
Yeah, I see a raised hand.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was me who asked the question about if there is like a training on how to use the Galaxy. So what I actually meant is just, is there somewhere so we can, because you have to fill in a couple of things, right? So is there somewhere a place where you have an example on what we have to fill in and etc.?
Yes, very good question actually.
Because you said this Galaxy interface is especially good for people who are not so used to HPC yet. So I think then they are also not used to what is important to fill in, etc.
So there's it's a very important questions you raised. So I had to rephrase the like what we said before. This interface for people who are like new to HPC, not too new to the tool itself. Let's say the person who was coming here is supposed to know what BLAST is used for, or like other tools like sequence manipulation. What is map to BW means. So that the tools, they should know what the tool do. So if they know the tool, they will know what are the inputs and the outputs. So what the Galaxy or the Life Portal provide is not remove the steps that you need to create the job script. So we have some default parameters already like suitable for that job. So already it's there, but the tool parameters like what file should I upload, like which file should I upload for this tool is not there like explicitly, but you could of course find out. So there's also always a help page on the bottom which says what are the inputs, what does it do, what is the output format, and what is this program do. So this is about the program. So this we get from the program developers, they write it. So this wrapper. Then if you ask me like tabular format, whether it's a 25 column format or a blast XML format that you select, that help unfortunately is not available via Life Portal. It's available via the tool itself, but everything you specify in the terminal you could fill in the form. Does that somehow explain?
Yeah, it does. I'm just wondering, so if I want to do my own runs on Saga, then I can't do that because I have to use what is already predefined on the Galaxy portal.
So correct. So the tool, all the parameters that you could enter in the terminal.
I can take. Can I say a couple of words, Sabri?
Yeah. Go ahead, Nikolay.
Yeah. Yes and no. What you can do is, sorry. Can I try to answer?
Yeah. Yes, please, Nikolay. Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Anna, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
I'm trying to answer too. Yes. As I said in the slides, of course, a web interface is far less flexible than a command line. But we try to put in these, because what you see in the middle of the screen, which is the tool menu itself. Yeah, Jorgen is writing some. So the tool menu, we tried to put in the most relevant parameters you might need for this tool. So if you take NCBI Blast, as you see now in the Sabri screen, what you see from until the bottom of this page is something which you might need in most of the cases if you run this tool. So you can change the parameters, of course. You can see like set expectation value, you can change the value there. But if you really need another parameter, which is missing from the HTML form here, from the form, but it exists as a parameter with the tool, we can very easily add it in basically minutes and update the tool menu. So you don't have to bother about this yourself. We have to do it, not you, because you won't have the permissions to change it. Just mind that this tool is actually a shared tool for all the users of Saga, right? So every user can use it. So we cannot allow every single user to change the menus in the platform. But it can be added, of course. It can be customized only for you if you need it as well.
Thank you.
May I just add a bit of advice? Because if you learn how to use the command tools, the command line, and it takes some time, it's painful in the start, but the benefit in the long run is tremendous. So please sit down and actually learn the command, because they are so powerful that you won't imagine. But it takes some pain, so just take the pain and the gain is well worth it.
Yeah, thank you. Is there any more questions?
I don't see anything that needs more answering, but please ask.
Yeah.
So yeah,
please.
so maybe a comment to what Ola said. So this is not to replace the command line. So this is provide another interface. If people want to try that out. So as Nikolay said, it is not as flexible as the command line, but it gives like an easy entry point for like if you want to share things, for example.
Yeah. Thank you, Sabri,
Yeah.
and thank you, Nikolay. If